Hey everybody, this is Sean Corn with the Chester Paul Company, part of LB of America. Today I'm with Mason Conte. What's happening, dude?
How are we? Happy Thursday. Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. The name Conte might be confusing some people that know your father, Mike Conte, with John Guest. So not to be confused, but the son of the famous Miguelito Conte.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
yes. Good. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
So
appreciate it.
you've been with Pentair now for
Just about 5 years now. Was previously the territory sales rep for Pentair residential water treatment components, focusing on valves, tanks, filtration, POU and POE systems. And now I'm the regional sales manager for the Western region, which will cover about 16 states. If you draw a straight line from Nebraska and west.
Got it. Let's back up one sec. And what is Pentair when it comes to water treatment for those that have been under a rock for the past 20 years?
Yeah, so Pentair's real goal is to provide smart, sustainable water solutions. Now, I work on the division, like I'd mentioned, that focus on the components in the residential water treatment, both in residential, commercial, and industrial. And I work with distribution and dealers out there that focus on valves, tanks, POU, POE systems, filtration, water softening, things really that move water.
Got it. Chester Paul's association with you started way back when, like I said, Mike Conte, your dad, was an employee at Chester Paul. That's how I met him, but he knew some of the leadership at Chester Paul before I was even associated or working with Chester Paul. We met you obviously when you were young. I knew you through Little League and whatever else, through when my son was playing with you in Little League, not when I was playing in Little League.
Even some family barbecues at Chester Paul.
Family barbecues for sure. You had your first summer job at Chester Paul, if I remember. Yeah.
My first pay stub ever had a Chester Paul Company logo on it. Working in the warehouse with Jose and Mike and all the guys out there.
All the guys that are, half of them, a few of them are still here. Chester Paul's connection with Pentair goes back now, I want to say about 24 years, if I'm right, if I'm not mistaken. And we've always been focused on the filtration side of what Pentair has to offer. At times it was called Pentec, and it's gone under a handful of different names, but it's definitely been a core group of products that's kind of just been a staple in the industry forever. We'll get into the breadth of what Pentair has to offer, but so when you started with Pentair, you were out calling on dealers, and
correct, yes.
No real attention with OEMs or whatnot. It was strictly dealers and working customers that were calling on consumers.
Correct, yeah, exactly. So I'd go around the area, especially in the Southern California market, and focus on the dealers that purchase from distribution and kind of work with them to try to get sales to the end user. So a lot of those applications were based on water softening applications, reverse osmosis, point of use stuff, as well as point of entry. And that was kind of my goal, to work with those dealers and to try to build that relationship and continue to nurture that.
Yeah.
With Pentair components.
It's probably a good foundation for as you come through the business, because anybody that's, it doesn't matter if you're at manufacturing level or even, any level of the food chain, understanding how the consumer is how the product is installed at the consumer level, and what the consumers are asking for is obviously probably the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it kind of gives me a little bit more of an ear to the market, and it also helps me understand some of the problems that our dealers might be going through with some of our products. Kind of understand, the hands-on aspect is maybe what we can improve on, maybe what we do well, what we don't do well, but it really gives you that full aspect of, I guess, a full chain of sale from manufacturer to end user.
Yep. And like I said, Pentair's been a solid partner and one of our preferred partners at Chester Paul for a long time. And like many others, Pentair struggled through the last few years of supply chain issue. But I think now you have a new president of the residential water treatment division, and Deepak, and he's not new to the industry. He came from Pentair Europe.
Correct. No, so so Deepak Rao is our new BU leadership, was what we call business unit leader of residential water treatment. And lucky for our team, he's been with Pentair for about 17 years now. Actually came over from the Southeast Asian markets. So really familiar with the product line, also has a little bit of an engineering background as well. So really has a customer focus, customer-centric focus on how to improve, how to make sure that we're still a number one leader in manufacturing components in the water industry.
That's good. I know you guys have dabbled out in and out of the industry, and just understanding what the water industry, and probably most of you listening and have either been in it for a long time, or your family has, or your coworkers have. There's a lot of legacy throughout the industry. So having somebody that understands that legacy is going to be quicker to adapt and modify and bring strategic plans probably to the marketplace.
Yes, absolutely, and it's kind of nice too that he has really a global experience. So maybe what's working well in a different market, we can bring over to this market, or vice versa. So really kind of gives a full scope with his background and history. So
yeah, if I know the only reason I'm going to say this is we've had customers that during supply chain issues, when we couldn't get product, they were trying other product, and they were just grumpy with one manufacturer over another manufacturer, and nobody wanted obviously to have the delivery supply chain issues. But so if you haven't gone back to it, I've noticed just in the past, I'll be the first to admit I was grumpy with Pentair, but I was grumpy with a lot of vendors, but we were working with everybody to try to get through, and Pentair was definitely on all of those calls to help improve lead time and deliver what was needed for the customer. But if you got grumpy with the likes of a Pentair when it was almost impossible to get product, or just lead times were extended, and the shift that's happened probably in the last 12 months, just in the mindset of the company as a whole, is noticeable. And so I wanted to recognize, it's like, hey, we watch, any company is over time, we have highs and lows of how we're connected to the customer, and sometimes it's harder to do. Sometimes it's just hard to do.
And I mean, I was going to say, it's been a little bit of the COVID and the supply chain's been a little bit tough, but I can tell you right now, I think in 2023 especially, we've seen a big turnaround, especially with filtration components, valves and everything are starting to get out a little bit more. We still do have a couple opportunities to improve.
Sure.
But as a whole, takes a long time to turn a big ship, and I think we're really turning in the right direction with leadership. The way our lead times are starting to reduce a little bit, and the product availability. And another thing as well is that, with a lot of Pentair purchases, you get someone like myself. You get someone that's going to be there for you, and at least try to battle through some of the
yeah, it's funny you say that. We saw a lot of filter housings, and I've sold a lot of manufacturers' filter housings, and probably for the last, I'm horrible with time, but probably maybe 10 years, 12 years, I'll sell a handful of other products almost begrudgingly, because if there's an issue, and when you sell hundreds of thousands, there's going to be that less than 1% issue, even with a quality product. Others, I don't even know what the percentages are, but I'll always go to a Pentair because in its face value they could be very similar in appearance, whatnot. But the support, if you need it, is gigantic, and we've had fantastic support.
Yeah,
when it comes to that.
And that's a great positive. I appreciate that, and we have many people like myself across the country that are there to support other distributors and
They're not all like you, Cat.
they might not dance like me, but they're kind of like me.
Mason's dance moves are kind of, we'll say they're infamous.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
So, you work with Craig Bybee really closely. Probably a lot of people listening know Craig.
Yeah, it's been a staple for Pentair for quite some time. I believe he's on his 22nd or 23rd year with Pentair. Don't call me one of those two, but still a spry young age. But yeah, very, very lucky to work with Craig. He's been nothing but a staple. Really, really good relationships out there. And another thing, he's a lot of hands-on experience. Really can give you a lot of product knowledge and application knowledge. So really, just another aspect that we'd like to provide there.
Absolutely, Craig's a voice that I've valued over my tenure in the business, and definitely consider him, one shape or form, a mentor of the industry.
I guess you could say. Legend of the industry.
Legend
of the industry.
Legends are that's a lot of that's a big expectation. Craig won't like that,
No,
so that's big value to getting to work with Craig. Now, what product lines are you responsible again for? So all of the filtration. When you say filtration, some might not know what that is. So
so filtration, we can break it down into slimline housings, traditional big blue housings. We can go into filtration, which carbon blocks, Fiber9, really a large array there. And then as far as tanks go, we have our structural tanks, and that's kind of our bread and butter for the tank side. And then valves, we have Fleck, Auto-Troll. And those are our two main drivers there. And then we have anything from a 3.25-inch valve all the way up to a 3-inch valve, and then we have flapper valves and piston valves, which are the Fleck and Auto-Troll lines.
Yeah. So I mean, Chester Paul really focuses mostly on filtration. We're dabbling in some point of entry, water treatment, softening, backwashing carbon type tanks. And obviously you have your bread and butter residential products like a 5600 that's been out there for ages, and you have some new products on the market as well, I understand.
Yeah, we also are coming out with new technologies. One thing that we released recently that's kind of our newest up and date would be like our Fleck connected valve, which gives the homeowner an opportunity to connect their valve to Wi-Fi to kind of get updates, water usage, salt reports, things of that nature, and it's really kind of getting into that new realm of technology with the Internet of Things.
Got an app for that?
Exactly.
Got it.
It's totally that kind of the Nest mindset, if you will,
right.
Like your thermostat.
Got it. And on the value add for Pentair, I mean, we'll make this a little bit of a Pentair commercial. The value add for Pentair, you guys offer training all the way down to the dealer level, or is it mostly at an OEM level? So if a dealer wants training, is listening to this on sizing or whatever else,
absolutely.
Are they contacting their supplier, and their supplier's reaching out to the mason of that territory?
Yeah, either way. I mean, I think it'd be great to include your supplier, whoever that is. That way, make sure we're all on the same page. But you can happily go to myself or one of my counterparts across the country. But the training is really open to how we want to gear, what you want to get out of that. So it's always kind of nice to have an initial call and see what the goal is out of that call, or what out of that training. Excuse me. But the training is available. We have a trainer named Dave Emmons who is really covers the domestic U.S. And is available really anytime as long as we kind of book him in advance. Then we also have people like myself and the Craig Bybees of the world that are available to get on the call and try to help troubleshoot things. But as far as training goes, widely available, and it's the one thing that the lead time is always quick and easy, so that's a positive there. We also do have repositories for spec sheets. We have our partner center as well that gives access to dealers and distributors.
You want to get a list of that stuff to Mike here, and he can throw it in the notes, and so that they can have a little a place to go to? Is it all based out of one website, or?
Yeah, so we have a Pentair partner center, and that gives access to dealers and distributors of.
So it's a different website than Pentair.com?
Correct. It is different from Pentair.com.
But don't go to Pentair.com.
Still go to Pentair.com.
No, I've been there. I don't know what I found there. No, Pentair's a much bigger company than we know them as just Pentair water treatment. So I was kidding when I'm saying don't go to Pentair.com. It's more of an overview of the entire business operation. It's not, you're not going to find a spec sheet on a 5600 necessarily.
Correct.
Very easily on Pentair.
Exactly.
So I'm not bashing Pentair.com. We'll make sure we hook up all the information there.
No, appreciate it.
And what do you think? What do most dealers? I guess we'll start with the dealer level. Somebody that's supplying product to a consumer. What are they not taking advantage of, do you think that Pentair has to offer?
I mean, one thing I for sure will notice, definitely take advantage of myself and people out there. I mean, we're happy to work with dealers and really want to make sure that we're available through the hard times, through the good times. We also do have that partner center that's available, and it's a ton of training videos that are out there, spec sheets, things of that nature. We also do have a YouTube channel. It's kind of like a mini Pentair Water University.
You dancing on it?
I'm not dancing on it
Dang
now,
it.
but maybe later. But
so when Mason comes to see you ask him to dance.
Exactly, ask me to dance. But we also have like valve teardowns, things of that nature, and really the training aspect is something that I think maybe not everyone's aware of, but it's very easy to do. Even if it's not an in-person, we can do it virtually. Really want to make sure it's accommodating to everyone's schedules at the dealer level as well as distribution.
So you'll do installation type best practice installation.
Yeah, we can really tailor to whatever. I would recommend that like I said, we have that phone call before, and Dave is really an educated guy. He's actually previously a dealer before, so he has a lot of that hands-on experience.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it really we can get as dialed in and into the weeds as we want, or we can make it as general as we want. Whatever really specifically works for that dealer.
Awesome. So if you haven't tried, I want to highlight some of the handful of Pentair filtration, let's say, products. Some of the relatively newer, and if you're not familiar with, something to consider. The Grow membrane.
Yeah.
It's me being a membrane snob, I'm going to question the way you brand it, but you branded a one-to-one recovery, so it's one-to-one open spigot, so it's correct. Without a tank, it's running one-to-one product to concentrate. Mm-hmm. The Fresh Point.
We also do have the Fresh Point RO that's been out for a few years now, but really easy, push to connect, kind of just take your filter in, take it out, really easy for someone. You had something to say, I like it.
I do have something to say, yeah, and I'm going to get in trouble. My wife changes our filters now at our house. Not saying she's not capable of changing the filters on a normal system, because she would run circles around most people listening to this about what filters are what. But anyway, they're super easy to change. It's a flip of a switch. When I give them to my friends, or when I suggest the system for a friend, it's a Fresh Point, so I don't have to deal with changing their filters. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So another cool product that's been around forever, I think, that's kind of gets overlooked, is the Fiberdyne product. Super high dirt holding capacity with a large chlorine capacity with almost no pressure drop. Mm-hmm. You guys brand most of it now under Flow Plus, I think.
Correct. Yeah, that and the Diamond Flow, kind of that Fiberdyne area, yeah. Like you said. I think.
Well, the Diamond Flow is the weird, more polyspun with correct. Carbon in the core kind of thing.
Correct. But yeah, Fiberdyne has definitely been, I think, unintentionally one of Pentair's best products that hasn't been, I guess, widely taken on yet, but the technology.
No, it's been around for a long time out of Little Dover, Mass, right?
Dover.
New Hampshire.
Yes, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
I always get Dover, Delaware confused.
Yeah. Awesome. But quality product. The housings. There's a few. Housings that actually all the housing line can't go wrong. People don't know, also on the Big Blue series, there's white and black available besides the Big Blue.
Correct.
Funny, Big Blue is a trademarked Pentair thing. So even if we're using the term and it's not associated with a Pentair product, I'm pretty cognizant of saying large diameter.
Yeah.
But Pentair offers a big blue in white and in black.
Yeah.
And we stock most of them. But if you haven't looked at the Pentair filtration line in a while, look at it. There's still a lot of quality products. It hasn't changed a lot, but it started with a lot. So
yeah, I'd like to think that we were one of the first, and I think that's kind of really what started off a lot of the black lid and the blue.
Funny enough, I look over here, Mike, our wonderful marketing guru, has put out some product, and the GAC 10 was probably one of the very first granular type cartridges. This, and there was an old Kuno product, and then your S1 and C1 cartridges, which still exist today, were one of the first few cartridges with the 3/4 inch standard housing. Yeah, the product line is solid, and if you haven't checked it out in a while, definitely check out the filtration line. It's what Chester Paul is proud to bring Pentair to market with. So.
Yeah, no, appreciate that, and we do have a warehouse in Kentucky that stocks a lot of this product as well. So, really, just a train or a truck away.
A train or a truck away. I like it.
I was gonna say. I mean, you can plane it, I guess. Too,
yeah. No, so there's a few fun facts about Mason before I let him go here. Mason plays street pickup basketball with Adam Sandler.
I do. I had lucky, very, very lucky one opportunity. I actually went to just a park up in Santa Monica, and it's not anything nice.
It's just like the Venice, the white man can't jump.
Yeah, just the total, exactly. And all of a sudden, Adam Sandler's there, and everyone freaks out, but they kind of play cool. And I actually had the opportunity to play on his team one time, and he came up and shook his hand and was like, "Hey, I'm Adam." And my jaw just dropped because I'm like, I know who you are. I didn't even say my name, but really, really cool experience. Very lucky to have that one in the back pocket.
And then I lured you into running a marathon.
Yes.
I didn't lure you in. You
nudged me.
Yeah,
you nudged me.
You took the bait, and
exactly.
Mace Cat ran his first marathon in March of.
I did. I ran it alongside Sean and Mike, and it was just a call, I think, and you were like, "Dude, why don't you sign up for the marathon?" I was like, "Okay." And then 2 months later, I got another call from Sean saying, "All right, when are we getting you in your Ironman?" So, yeah,
that one we'll
that's a back burner. That's not off the stove, but it's on the back burner for sure.
All right, cool, Kat. Anything else you want to add about yourself, Pentair?
No, I really thank you for all the customers out there. Thank you for the time today. Really appreciate it. I think 2023 has been a little bit of a rough start, and we're really, really capturing and going in the right direction. We have great leadership, a great team behind us, and really looking forward to kind of getting back out there and showing the market that we're still a leader in the water industry.
Yeah, you definitely are, and I encourage anybody that hasn't looked at the filtration line in quite some time to do so.
Yeah.
So, thank you again for.
Cool. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Give me a call. Give Sean a call if you ever need anything at all.
Yep.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to help.
Put Mason's email in these notes, and we'll get him hit up. He's Mason Conte again with Pentair.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Pentair. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it.
Be good, brother.
Yeah.